Hello everybody, today I'm going to discuss the relationship between animals and climate change. My name is Katherine Uribe, and this presentation is going to show how the conservation of animals can help us fight against this crisis. So when people think about climate change, one of the first factors that they come up with is that it is caused by greenhouse gases being released into the atmosphere. The main type of gas that is released in the atmosphere is CO2, which is a factor of the Earth heating up. Fun fact, on a global scale, the amount of carbon in the soil is 2 times the amount in the atmosphere and 3 times the amount in the biosphere. Okay, this graph right here shows the amount of greenhouse gases being produced. As you can see what I previously pointed out, carbon dioxide makes up a majority of the gas being produced. While it is primarily produced through fossil fuels, changes in the land also release CO2, which causes a warming effect in the Earth's atmosphere. Now I'm going to show how these 5 animals help combat the amount of CO2 being released into the atmosphere. First is the African elephants. By giving slower growing trees a chance to grow, the elephants allow those grown trees to sequester more carbon dioxide from the air. In comparison, smaller, fast-growing plants don't gather as much CO2 as the larger ones. These trees gather over 9,000 tons of CO2 in its lifetime. If this process was done by humans, it would cost around $150 billion of carbon capture services every year. Elephants also help by fertilizing the soil when they are grazing. This helps their ecosystem be more resilient and to maintain an increase of carbon stocks in the soil, roots, and above ground plants, which all help reduce the amount of carbon being released. Next is the tapirs. These animals help spread a variety of plants around their home, which produces more trees and other plants that help collect carbon from the air. This form of natural regeneration is a cheaper and more efficient way to restore the plants destroyed by fires or from people desecrating the rainforest. The third animal I chose is the sea otter. The sea otters act as guard dogs to the underwater kelp forests. They keep the population of sea urchins in check, and this in turn keeps the population of kelp from decreasing exponentially. Their estimated carbon capture value is between $200 to $400 million annually. According to the NRDC website, researchers estimate that a presence of otters can enhance kelp biomass carbon storage by 1,100% compared to the non-otter areas. This is important because coastal ecosystems isolate up to 20 times more carbon per acre than land forests. As you can see from the diagram on the left, when these plants die, they get dragged to the bottom of the ocean, where they stay there for decades before releasing any carbon they have stored up. The fourth animal is the whale. If people helped with the conservation of whales and their population reached somewhere around 4 to 5 million, a massive 1.7 billion tons of carbon could be captured per year. Another way they help is through their excrement, which acts as a fertilizer for phytoplankton. The phytoplankton in turn pulls 10 gigatons of carbon from the atmosphere into the ocean per year. Finally, we have wolves. They are essential for their habitats to stay healthy. The wolves' presence affects the way moose interact with the plant communities. This alters the forest composition and increases the tree biomass. This in turn increases the carbon storage of the plants and the soil. According to the NRDC website, boreal forests with wolves results with an estimated increase in carbon storage between 46 and 99 million metric tons, which is equivalent to a year of tailpipe emissions from between 33 to 71 million cars. Now to recap. First, I spent some time talking about carbon dioxide and how it is the greater amount of gas being produced from greenhouse gases. They are produced in many ways, including fossil fuels and even being released naturally. It is also the reason for the Earth heating up. One of the reasons for the Earth heating up. Then I talked about 5 animals and that helped lower the amount of carbon dioxide being released into the atmosphere naturally. They do this by absorbing it into their bodies or by helping plants grow so that the plants can absorb more carbon. I want to end this presentation with a quote from Lindsay Rotswell. She says that these 5 species are proof that protecting Earth's wildlife is essential to solving the climate crisis. Without them, we wouldn't be here today, and we need them to stabilize the climate tomorrow. We can't do it alone. So thank you for listening. If you have any questions, you can contact me at my email address found on the right corner of this slide. Here are my resources. And that's the end of my presentation. Once again, thank you for listening.